Hi guys, so I've got another everyday carry video. This one is for my keychain and it's what I bring with me every day. It's been refined a little bit over time, and I would say the main takeaway is that I've tried to not go overboard with it, and I've tried to bring things I actually use. And just for context, I am a city dweller, so I'm not going to need too many crazy tools. I'll show you a few things that I've picked up over the last few weeks and things that I've had for slightly longer. And this works really well for me. I think it's a pretty good blueprint for most people who go out into the city, work in a variety of situations, maybe own a car, have a bike, for example, and just generally want to be able to kind of have a bit of utility when they're walking about. So I'll run through all of these, and I'll try and share links for each in the sections below. The first thing I'll show, and I'll kind of go in order of importance. Just firstly, I've got a couple of keys. 1, 2, 3. So these are just, kind of typical keys. Because they aren't flat, I don't use a key organizer. Frankly, it wouldn't change the way I carry these much, so not a huge change, and something that all of us will have to deal with in a lot of ways. Keys are essential, so bringing them every day. And secondly, I would say this I've been using loads, and it's attached via a magnetic quick release. So you can see here that this comes off really quickly and it comes back on again quite quickly. This means that I can take off, in this case, the flashlight, and I can use it. Sometimes I use it in my knuckle when I'm on a bike, just to kind of show some light, and other times it will be to kind of hang somewhere, or to kind of use the flashlight on its own. So it's really useful having these quick releases, I think. So, very practical just on the run. This flashlight is the A5 and it's from Vorvyvon. It's very popular, brother, the A8. I think is overshadowing this torch. I think it's more practical, frankly, and I'll explain a little bit why. The major difference here is it's actually got less functionalities, and I prefer that because it means that you can cycle through the things that you need, and it's not as confusing and as cluttered. Just one example of this is you've got exactly the same front torch as the A8. So it's got different light modes, so you can kind of hold on for full beam, you can double tap for the last saved mode and then cycle through the different modes. So this is the lowest mode, and then you can go through medium, high, and then very high. And then also what I think makes this much more practical is on the side button you can triple click rather than 4 clicks, which I find a pain. And you've got this sideway illumination, and it's really useful. It's got 2 different brightness settings, so it can get really quite bright. It kind of permeates the whole body, so it's kind of like a 360-degree illumination, which is pretty cool. I've used this just kind of trying to light up cupboards, for example. Really practical. And then also you can see that it goes to a red as well, and this goes to flashing, which I won't make you endure forever. And basically this thing is just super convenient. It's not got the UV setting in it, which I frankly don't think I would ever use. And for example, even on their website, they say that it can't identify banknotes if they're fraudulent. And the red light I would use on a bike, all of the mixed lighting modes I use quite frequently. It's really, I think, a perfect flashlight for me. And part of me would like to go for a metallic build, but I think the fact that this see-through body allows you to have side lights is just far too good to kind of pass up on. And just having it on this quick release is phenomenal. So you can kind of pop it out. I use this a lot more than I thought, and I frankly, I've owned the A8, and I think this is, for me, the superior light. So that can go straight back on pretty quickly. And also one note about this flashlight, it's actually in the kind of true tone version. There are 2, one which is just pure white light, and another that is a kind of truer color. It's kind of more like daylight. If you're transitioning from an iPhone, this will be far more like an iPhone's kind of back color. I personally prefer it. It's kind of a more kind of natural color that doesn't glare as much. So if you're kind of shining at anything white specifically, it will glare with the kind of, I've owned both, so I think it will glare more with the kind of pure white. This one, I think, frankly, is perfect. Like, I wouldn't change a thing. It's what I need. The next thing that I'll show you is, this is a Leatherman, and it's the Micra. And this thing, I live in the UK, it was an absolute pain in the ass to order. They finally restocked on Amazon, and I just did it that way. But it took a long time. I tried to actually order it from the website, got lost in transit. It took several months, to be honest. This, I think, I knew it would be the one I would need because it's got scissors. These scissors are just practical. For example, if you're trying to cut a zip tie from a package, I had a bike lock that I needed to use. I didn't have these, so I had to just completely shred the whole thing to pieces. These are really sharp, and the fact they're spring-loaded means they're practical. They're actually a really solid substitute for something that you might kind of call your main pair of scissors. I won't go through all of these, and I can do a separate review of this, but it's got a nail file, a flat Phillips head, a knife as well, which can be quite useful, but the scissors are so good you probably won't use it much. And then it's also got some tweezers, which I don't think are very good. I've got some really good tweezers that I use instead. A Phillips head, and then a can opener / tiny little screwdriver. I think this covers the majority of bases. If you're somebody who is just going around the city, works in the office, snip, you know, I think it's fantastic. And there are Victorinox equivalents that are cheap and they're practical. This, I just think the fact that it kind of folds into itself is both a positive and a negative. It means that you can't access the tools as quickly, but it means they're completely enclosed. You're not having to think about anything kind of releasing unintentionally. I just think this thing, for me, is perfect. It's tiny, it weighs I think 50 grams, and I'll get on to like the total weight of all of this in a minute when I've actually weighed it. I'll be honest, I haven't yet. The next thing I'll show is this is the InCharge, and this is just basically a power adapter / data adapter cable for the majority of different phones. I'll show a few use cases. So I've got people in the office that use maybe USB micro for some of their charging, and occasionally I'll get things when I'm traveling I need to charge with kind of slightly awkward charging ports. This has got USB-C and it's got USB-A, and also Lightning and USB-C again, so you can cover almost every base. The micro is inside of the Lightning. I haven't used this, to be honest. I may use it at some point, but it won't be my de facto way of charging things. And it's got a strong magnetic kind of attachment in the middle, so it kind of stays in the place where it was kind of designed to stay. And this kind of just adds to it kind of just staying together, where once you put this lid on, it will just stay on your keyring as a kind of lanyard almost. I think this is great. I think it's just basically guarantee that you've got a fast data cable and also a fast charging cable as well. So I think this thing will stay with me for a long time. It's not that cheap, I'll be honest, but I think for what I use it for, it's phenomenal. And the final thing that I think is frankly essential on a keyring for an everyday use is an Airtag. This one's a bit battered. I've had it more or less since Airtags came out. This has saved me in quite a few positions. One is when I was in a rush and I was trying to leave somewhere for trying to get my keys and I couldn't find them. It just expedited that, meant that I didn't miss any kind of commuting or kind of buses or travel, and it's just been great. I actually got a couple of laptops stolen in London, and I tracked this down like a kind of AliExpress Sherlock Holmes. It didn't really work very well, but it kind of proved the concept that these will track pretty reliably to like 100 meters, well, probably 10-15 meters in most cities, because you've got like a pretty healthy amount of iPhones in action. And that's it really. I think just to kind of inspire and just let you guys know what I use on a daily basis. Do subscribe. I'll be making more of these everyday carry videos. I think Firstly is my keys, and secondly will be my wallet setup. Finally will be my bag setup. And any kind of comments or inspirations that you kind of want to share, do feel free to. As I say, like, comment, and it would be great if you could subscribe, because I currently have nada.